Hi again, everyone. Gary Digital Williams here on Beltway Boxing, Boxing on the Beltway News and Notes here for our latest edition. And again, as we continue to say, seemingly each and every week, we have a lot of news going on. And to tell you the truth, a lot of the big news that has come about in the last couple of weeks has made us overshadow a card that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're talking about Saturday, February the 27th, and that'll be at the Washington Convention Center. That's the King's Promotions card, and that card is now complete, barring any last-minute changes. Everybody's got an opponent now, so be interesting to see how this happens. Of course, the main event, we've been talking about that, and the main event is going to be DC lightweight Ty Barnett. He'll take on former world title contender Daniel the Prophet Atta, and that'll be an 8-round contest. And Ty Barnett's looking to come back after his knockout we talked about. He's facing that well-known, well-worked contender, former world title contender, Daniel the Prophet Atta. So that should be very interesting to see. That's our main event for that card. Now, one of the key bouts on the card will be Damon, the best at it, Nicholson, and he will take on Victor Kapendu of Cotonou, Benin. Now, Nicholson's 15-1, 15 KOs, and he's coming off a first-round TKO over Milton Nunez. That was on the card at the Eagle Bank Arena in Fairfax, Virginia on October 17th. Now, Kapendu, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. We'll find out how it is on Saturday, on the 27th. He has fought in 7 countries, including the United States. He's fought, of course, in his home country of Benin. He's fought in Ghana and other places around the world. His last bout was on January 22nd. He lost a 4-round unanimous decision to Godson Noel in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But he has fought 6 times in scheduled 12-round bouts, something that Nicholson has not done. So a 6-round bout, I should say, should mean nothing to him, in all honesty. One of those bouts that Kapendu fought in a 12-round bout, he fought for the IBF International Super Welterweight title, but he lost that bout. That was back in August of 2005 by unanimous decision. So that should be an interesting contest for Damon Nicholson. Also, Thomas K.O. Snow will return to action. He's in the 4-round bout against Stefan McIntyre, who fought here not too long ago in Virginia. Snow was 18-2, 12 KOs. He returned to action for the first time in a while on the last King's Promotions card. That was in Fort Washington, Maryland at Rosecroft Raceway, and he stopped Tibor Nadori in the second round. McIntyre is 18-2, but he usually is there for the long run. He very rarely gets knocked out. His last bout was on February the 6th, not too long ago, and he lost a 6-round unanimous decision to Reis Alim in Dodge City, Kansas. So Snow could have a tough one. McIntyre, like I said, usually there for the long haul. He very rarely gets knocked out. So we'll see what happens in that situation. Also on the card, a guy who has been one of the more popular boxers in the last week or so. Not only because of what he's done in the ring, which again, he's only been a pro for 1 bout, but it's really what he's done in the commercial world lately. We're talking about the Vanilla Gorilla Sam Crossett out of Greenbelt, Maryland. And for those who do not live in the Beltway area, you probably weren't aware of this on Super Bowl Sunday. But you can go on YouTube and find a television commercial featuring Iron Mike Tyson. And it's for a company called Michael & Son. And it's a plumbing and heating and air conditioning company based in Alexandria, Virginia. And they shot a commercial featuring Mike Tyson. Actually, Tyson's son Amir was in the ring. And he also took on, Amir took on a guy named Sam Crossett, the Vanilla Gorilla. And in the bout, Cross is giving it to, in the commercial, so say Cross is really giving it to Amir, and he's doing very well in that situation until Mike Tyson steps through the ring and knocks Crossett out. So Cross is getting a lot of good publicity about it. He's been on a number of TV and radio shows here in the Washington area, and you will get a chance to see him in person do what he normally does. That's a pro boxer when he takes on Devin Mosley in a cruiserweight bout. That's scheduled for 4 rounds. Devin Mosley's out of Capitol Heights, Maryland. Crossett made his pro debut. He's 1-1 KO on that December 4th Rosecroft card. He scored the first round TKO over John Felty. Now, what a lot of people are missing about Crossett, we've talked about it here on the podcast a few times, is that Crossett in the amateurs knocked someone out in 4 seconds. So he has a power, and he's coming down to he's at the cruiserweight level now. He was an heavyweight as an amateur, but at 200 pounds, he's a cruiserweight. And so he has power in his own. So we'll see what happens. Devon Mosley, 0-4-1, still searching for his first pro win. He was stopped in the first round by Hafiz Montgomery. That was on November 20th in Philadelphia. Crofton, another guy who has power. Talking about a guy who has power. Crofton Maryland heavyweight, Luther Lights Out Smith returns to action, and he will be in a 4-round contest against DC veteran Charlemagne Jones. Smith is 3-0, 3 KOs. He has yet to get out of the first round in any bout so far. He's been knocking guys out left and right. Crushing knockouts at times as well. Smith stopped the debuting Malcolm Ware on November 14th in Springfield, Virginia in his last bout. Jones is 2-4-1, 2 KOs, and he may go from the frying pan into the fire on this one. I'm sorry. Jones last fought on March 28th, and he was stopped in the first round by Mike Ballaghan. That was also at the ABC Sports Complex in Springfield, Virginia. And he may go from a guy who can really hit hard to another guy who can really hit hard in Luther Smith. Now, Jones is at 8 pro bouts, but the weird thing about Jones is that he has fought sporadically since 1996, and that was one of the glory years we had in pro boxing here in the Beltway region. So it's interesting to see, he's taken like years off. He come back to fight, and he takes a couple years off and comes back to fight. So we'll see what happens on this one. Also on the card, we have Jordan Shamel, who is going to fight Willis the Prophet Lockett out of Tacoma Park, Maryland. Jordan Shamel is out of Hudsonville, Michigan, 19-1, 16 KOs. As we say, we talked about this about last week. He's going to look to bounce back from his first pro loss. He dropped a 10-round unanimous decision to Isaiah Thomas for the vacant USBA cruiserweight title. That was on July 25th in Las Vegas. Lockett is 14-15-5, 5 KOs. Dropped a 6-round unanimous decision to Ed Lattimore back on January 8th in Royal Oak, Michigan. Also on the card, Michael Fox out of Forestville, the professor. He'll take on Claudinei Lacerda. He is out of Sombrio, Brazil. And Michael Fox is 8-0, 2 KOs. Claudinei Lacerda 17-13-1 with 12 KOs. Patrick Harris will be on the card out of Washington, D.C. 7-0, 4 KOs, taking on Corey Sloan of Philadelphia, 2-8-2 with 1 KO. Antonio Teflon Magruder's on the card. He's making return. He's been out for a little over a year. 3-0, 2 KOs, taking on Terrell James of Philadelphia, 1-2-1, his record. And also we have Wesley Triplett, who is a heavyweight out of Youngstown, Ohio, taking on DC's Orlando Pugh. Triplett 2-0, 1 KO, and Orlando Pugh 1-6-1 for 1 KO. And that'll be a 4-round bout. So that's the card for Saturday, February 27th at the Washington Convention Center. Now, we are scheduled to be on the air with this card. Now, I do need to tell you this. I'm going to be upfront with you. This is one of those situations where two of my outside lives kind of clash in this situation. Earlier that day on February 27th, I'll be at Coppin State University in Baltimore, our last home game for the Eagle basketball program, men's and women's teams. And you couldn't ask for a triple threat in this situation. It's our last home game. It's homecoming for us because because we don't have a football team there at Coppin State. And we're playing our crosstown rivals, Morgan State University. So it's going to be quite a day for me. So chances are I will get to the show late on February 27th. I probably will not make the first bell, barring any kind of situation there. As soon as I get there, I'll start recording. Just keep watching the space here on Spreaker.com, on Box on Beltway Google app for Android. I'll try to put some out on Facebook and Twitter saying we're going on the air in about 5 minutes. And then you can follow us online live from the Washington Convention Center. So as soon as I get this, I cannot give you a time at this point because, quite frankly, I'm going to have a lot of things going on that particular day. So we'll see what happens there. So, but that was Saturday, February 27th. We'll be on the air at some point during the course of that evening, bring you live coverage of that card. Now, a couple weeks ago, right here on this podcast, I was talking about the fact that on March the 5th, the week later, the following Saturday at the DC Armory, the card there is starting to come together. Still have some, the opponents have not been given for guys like Lamont Roach Jr., Demetrius Bout, or Kevin Rivers Jr., but the main bouts have been signed. And a couple weeks ago, we talked about Luis Ortiz, the real King Kong. He's the interim WABA heavyweight titleist from Cuba, now living in Miami, Florida. And I kind of said offhandedly that because Luis Ortiz was having a real tough time finding a opponent for that bout. Guys turned this down left and right, and the most recent person, Alexander Dimitrенko, I think his name is. He decided he wanted more money. Dimitrенko, he decided he wanted money. So this was even before I knew this. When I said this 2 weeks ago, I didn't know Alexander Dimitrенko was the opponent that was scheduled. So I just kind of offhandedly said, you can hear this to back this. You can hear this because all our podcasts are archived on Spreaker.com and iHeartRadio.com. I said that why don't they just give a shot to Tony Thompson? It's his last, it may be his last hurrah. No guarantee he'll win it, of course, but he has not fought in front of his hometown in quite some time. That's what I said. Well, lo and behold, this week, and I don't know if Golden Boy is listening to me or whatever it happened, but it happened. And Tony the Tiger Thompson will indeed get his third opportunity at a world title. He will face the real King Kong Luis Ortiz for Ortiz's interim WBA heavyweight title. It'll be the main event on the card Saturday, March the 5th, the Golden Boy Promotions card, Saturday, March the 5th at the DC Armory. It'll be telecast live on HBO and the Boxing After Dark. Now, like I said, I didn't think they'd get this. I didn't think they'd do this. I don't know how it happened. It just, next thing I know, this is what's happening. I'm very happy for Tony. I hope he's been in the gym at some point. He's one of those guys you never know. He's 44 years old, but he's never been really in a war. And even the times when he's lost to Vladimir Klitschko, the first bout, he fought pretty well until his knee gave out. Second time, he was, I think, out of shape in that particular case and wasn't ready for it. That was in 2012. But in 2008, he fought Klitschko about as well as anybody up until guys like Tyson Fury fought him. Thompson's 44 years old, and this will be the first time that he steps into a Beltway ring since January 26, 2006. He knocked out Brandon Cabell at Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Between that time, he's fought in 4 states and 5 countries. He's won 4 regional titles since that Cabell bout, and he's challenged for the world title twice, both times to Vladimir Klitschko. So if this is his last hurrah, he's in a no-lose situation. If he loses, he goes off to the sunset. He's had a good career, even though. If he somehow beats him, and the last time a Cuban boxer fought Tony Thompson, Thompson beat him twice, and that was Orlandier Solis. And that was a guy who was supposed to be a big-time player in the heavyweight division, and Thompson cut him down to size. David Price will be a big-time player. Thompson cut him down to size. Now, the word is that he had some sort of drug issue, not drugs so much, but a banned substance issue, let's say. Apparently, he was taking hydrochlorothiazide, which is for high blood pressure. I know that for a fact because I take that. And it's apparently it's banned in Britain or someplace, but they didn't overturn the decision. He got the decision, and the decision is standing. So, I won't say it's irrelevant, but it's definitely not something against his record. So the bottom line is he beat David Price like a bass drum in both fights. So you never know. If Thompson's anywhere near in fighting shape, this could be very interesting. If not, it'll be early. Definitely. So we'll see. But I'm so happy for Tony to get the shot. Hope to be able to talk to him about it very soon. And we'll see what happens. So that makes 3 scheduled world titles on this card. The other world title bout we already knew about, and it became sort of official earlier this week. Jesse Vargas out of California, 26-1, 9 KOs, takes on Saddam World Kid Ali from Brooklyn, New York. He's 22-0, 13 KOs, and they will battle for the vacant WBO welterweight title. The title was vacated earlier this week by Timothy Bradley because Bradley did not take his mandatory against Saddam Ali because he has the rematch with, I guess, the third of the trilogy with Manny Pacquiao. So that's a done deal. The other championship bout that's scheduled for this card will be Oscar Escandón taking on Robinson Castellanos, and that bout will be for the interim WBC featherweight title. Now, Gary Russell Jr. was scheduled to defend his title against who is the WBC featherweight champion, was scheduled to defend that title against Oscar Escandón. But Russell got injured prior to that, and that fight was canceled. And I guess he has not recovered from it. So it'll be almost a year when Russell won the title back on March 28th, and he has not defended it yet. So right now, Escandón and Castellanos fight for the interim title. I guess the winner of that bout will take on Gary Russell Jr. once Russell gets healthy. And again, as we said, Lamont Roach Jr., Demetrius Big Meech Ballard, Kevin K. Smooth Rivers Jr., all on that card. That's March the 5th. So that's 2 big cards in 2 weeks right here in the Beltway. So hope you can get ready to enjoy that when we have all full coverage. We won't be doing live show, of course, from the March 5th card. We'll be blogging throughout that situation on March the 5th. And of course, we'll bring you live coverage on Saturday, February 27th, right here on the Box on the Beltway Google app for Android, and for all folks listening on Spreaker.com and iHeartRadio.com. Now let's turn to the amateurs real quick. Oh, before we go to the amateurs, one other thing. Jordan White, short dog Jordan White, won his bout. He is 2-0. He has yet to get out of the first round. He scored a first-round knockout over Manuel Ruvalcaba of Mexico. That was at the Sands Bethlehem Event Center in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And White scored that knockout 124 of the first round. So he's now 2-0, 2 KOs. Ruvalcaba now 2-16. Let's go back to March 5th for just a second, because we're going to be doing some double duty that night, because not only will Tony Thompson be on HBO, but Antoine Douglas will be on Showtime, taking on Sam Solomon. We've talked about that. March 5th at the Bethlehem Event Center, the same place. Same place Jordan White just fought. They'll have their bout March 5th at the Sands Bethlehem Event Center, and that'll be on Showtime Championship Boxing that very same evening on March 5th. So, as I said last week, I'll be bringing my phone, and since I won't be doing the broadcast, I'll be able to watch Antoine Douglas while I'm at the HBO card watching Tony Thompson. So it's gonna be a wild night. That's gonna be a wild night. Now let's go to the amateurs, and we have they recently had the National Silver Gloves Championships in Independence, Missouri, and we brought home 4 national titles in the Beltway. And these guys, and 3 of them I've known for a number of years, and followed their careers as young people, and they have done extremely well. No one has done better than Lorenzo Simpson. They call him Truck in the amateur here. Lorenzo Simpson out of Baltimore, Maryland. He won his 6th straight national title in his 6th weight class. Simpson captured the Boys Junior Open, 14-15 age group, 157 to 165 pounds. He won over Alexis Espino of Las Vegas, Nevada. Only one other person has won 6 consecutive titles. He's now a member of the U.S. Olympic team. That's Nico Hernandez. And he's the only person that's won 6 straight national Silver Gloves champions. And Simpson broke a tie with 2 well-known people. And ironically, they have some weird ties to the Beltway. Well, one is not weird. We know him. But the other guy is Oscar De La Hoya, Hall of Famer, who is promoting the March 5th card at the D.C. Armory. And the other one is our very own Dominic Wade, who has that big bout coming up against Gennady Golovkin in April. Both of them won 5 national Silver Gloves titles, and now it's just Nico Hernandez, who's an Olympian, and Lorenzo Simpson, who have won 6 national Silver Glove titles in a row. Fantastic. The other three boxers, one of them has had a great, I'd say, close to 14, 15 months recently, and that's Roglic Bartiz out of Washington, D.C. He won his second straight national championship, defeating Randy Canaday of St. Louis, Missouri. He captured the boys' intermediate open, the 12-13 age group 76 to 80 pound division. Also, Stacy Selby out of D.C., he won his second straight championship. He took the boys' intermediate open, 12-13, 113, 119 pound class. He defeated Jose Ibarra of Shafter, California. And Jelani Hill out of D.C. won the boys' Pee Wee Open, 8-9, 86 to 90 pound division. He defeated DeMarco McKinstry of Cincinnati, Ohio. And to take it one step further, the D.C. Baltimore contingent was part of the Region 3 group. They stretched from Maryland, had boxers from Maryland to Florida, and Region 3 boxers won 14 national titles, and that gave this region the first team title in 20 years. So, tremendous performances for our national Silver Gloves champions, and we had a number of runner-ups as well. And you'll be able to see a lot of, if you're in the area, see a lot of these guys coming up in the Golden Gloves, the area Washington Golden Gloves, which get underway on Saturday, February the 20th at the Sugar Ray Leonard Boxing Center in Palmer Park, Maryland. So we'll be giving you the first bout sheet from that in a couple weeks, and we'll try to get there as much as we can. I know we cannot get there for the 27th or the 5th because of the pro cards in attendance, but in April, they will move. April 5th, I think, is the day for the Washington Championships. And that'll be held at Rosecroft Raceway. And then the regional championships will be held on April 30th. Let me talk about that for a second as well. The regional championships usually put Washington and Baltimore against Virginia and North Carolina. And that could change. We don't know offhand, but that could change. Here's why. And it's something that I have known about, but to tell you the truth, I've had a real tough time trying to really figure out what is going on with this. There's a situation in Virginia in which it seems to threaten primarily amateur and professional mixed martial arts, but amateur boxing could be hurt by this as well. From what I can understand, and again, I'm trying to find out exactly what's going on. There's a bill that's going through the Virginia legislature that makes the Department of Licensing and Regulations. This is what we know as the Virginia State Athletic Commission, but it's under a different name. And really, you're talking about two people: David Holland, who's the chair, and his assistant, Tracy Fagan. They're the commission, as far as Virginia is concerned. But the bill would push amateur boxing, amateur and pro MMA, and that would join pro boxing under the jurisdiction of the Office of Professional Regulation and Licensing Regulation, Office of Professional Licensing Regulations. And a lot of people are trying to fight that because that would mean there's some more, from what I can understand, there'll be some more stringent testing in that situation. And that could really hurt amateur boxing from a standpoint. And it seems to be some semblance of a mess down there. And again, that's about all I can really tell you. But suffice to say, people are very worried down there. They're very worried in the Commonwealth about this situation. Now, what that'll mean to the regional championships, I do not know. Will it mean that Virginia cannot have amateur boxing? You know, the people are saying this regulation, if it passes through the legislature, could destroy amateur boxing as we know it. Now, one thing I don't understand, no one's really giving me an answer for this. And if you do have one, please post it on as a comment here. Why can't Virginia amateur boxing be under the auspices of USA Boxing, like the Potomac Valley Association and the South Atlantic Association here in this area? That I don't understand. And so A lot of people have not. I've been trying to sit down with someone to have this explained to us, and hopefully I'll be able to do that at some point down the road. But suffice it to say, people are upset now. Whether or not how that's going to affect the regionals, I do not know. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But that'll be late April for the regional Golden Gloves, and as I said, April 5th for the DC Golden Gloves. I mean, the Washington Golden Gloves Championships, what we call it. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens. So again, this is going to be a crazy, crazy month, and there still could be more down the pike. There's more talk that there is a date for a card on April 1st that'll feature Adrian Bronner taking on Ashley Theophane. Now, one of the cities that's up for that bout will be Washington, D.C. And I've been hearing good things that could possibly happen. We'll see. Adrian Bronner loves this area. He's trained here in the area, has trained with the Headbangers. So that is a very conceivable possibility that card could be here. It'll be televised on Spike TV. We do know that as well. So that could happen. So it's just so much going on down the pike right now that it's been hard to keep up with. I'll be perfectly honest with you. It's been hard to keep up with, but it's been fun because it's something that's been going our way, and we will see down the road how things are going. Now, before we go, I want to say our best wishes to my partner, my broadcast partner, my writing partner, Juan Marshall. He recently was hospitalized. He's had bouts with epilepsy, and it's come on over the last couple of years, and now and then it gets worse than it should. And he is out of the hospital. He is recovering. But as we actually talked last night, as a matter of fact, and he says he probably will not be at the next couple of cards, the 27th card or the 5th card. So he's getting some rest, and that's the main thing, and getting himself stronger for the rest of the year. So wish him the very best, and you can post on his blog, ProAmFightTalk.blogspot.com, and talk to him about that. Also, don't forget about the Roast and Toast with Henry Diskin Lane Jones. That'll be on Saturday, February 13th at Tacoma Station. And our best wishes to him as well as he continues on his great work. And again, great wishes to Juan Marshall. We wish him keep recovering. That's all, definitely. So as we say, a lot going on. We'll keep you posted right here on Box on the Beltway, Google app for Android. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm Gary Digital Williams. Always remember, keep supporting the best boxing in the world. The boxing along the Beltway. Take care.